There's a new world of news broadcasting spreading across the globe. BBC World Service Television, a major news source of international news and information. Already, this premium service reaches out to 80% of the world's population across Europe, Africa, and Asia. News on the hour, every hour. Global news from a dedicated news team, combining television with the experience of World Service Radio.
Your rally tonight is on peaceful protest.
The flames are largely out in this area. The security forces know their respite may be short. The looters are...
A world service with unparalleled international influence.
Ловили. BBC лучше всего.
You want the BBC? Yes, very fine service, and thanks a lot.
I'm afraid I have to admit that the BBC has everybody beaten.
Together, BBC Television News and the World Service have created World Service Television, building on the reputation for fairness and objectivity that makes the BBC the most trusted broadcaster in the world. 50 bureau and over 200 correspondents worldwide.
But almost certainly they've been bringing weapons and ammunition as well.
Now, across the globe, we're creating a network of strategic regional partners, bringing specialist local knowledge and market expertise to maximize the commercial potential of World Service Television. International news bulletins round the clock. Global news every hour, on the hour.
This is the BBC World Service News, and I'm in the...
Experienced newsreaders with up-to-date reports from BBC correspondents across the globe. A fast and accurate international weather forecast.
But drier and brighter weather.
The latest information and market movements from the business world.
Closing slightly higher thanks to some heavy sales of the Japanese yen.
A summary of the news headlines. And then a major current affairs program leading back up to the hour and another bulletin of international news. A news service reporting events as they happen when they happen.
We know that there are trucks and perhaps tanks in that direction down there.
A channel providing not only up-to-the-minute news and analysis, but a huge variety of information programs, documentaries like Inside Story and 40 Minutes. Features such as Tomorrow's World and Wicker's World. And lifestyle programs from Top Gear and the holiday program to the clothes show.
E Nachrichten vom BBC World Service.
Eis os títulos das principais notícias do Serviço Mundial da BBC.
Now we're entering an exciting and expanding future, moving rapidly into new languages.
现在向您报道今天的世界新闻：阿富汗终于新政府的部队
Simultaneous Chinese translation of live news.
新政府掌权。
Y aquí está Julia Zapata con las informaciones financieras.
Gracias, Eliud. El mayor mercado de seguros del mundo,
Portuguese, German, and Latin American Spanish are already in development.
El futuro es sombrío, también lo es el de Sudáfrica, dicen los grupos de presión.
Language options are a key element in our strategy of regional partnership. Together, we'll develop high-quality new programs, serving the special needs of each individual region. Through this strategy of partnership, we have created a self-funding service, free of government subsidy, a service with total editorial independence, a unique service, soon to be available in every corner of the globe. BBC World Service Television.
Listening to the World Service has become part of the world's daily ritual. 140 million people around the globe tune to London. Even the Taliban militia trust its voice. Its pictures they despise. Television and videos were strung up from the lampposts. A stark reminder that not everyone shares the BBC's faith in bimediality.
Hello, this is the BBC World News from London, and I'm John Humphreys.
The first pilots in the 80s threw up a host of problems: editorial, financial, moral. A report on Chernobyl's refugees relaxing by the Black Sea caused uproar in the Muslim world. They couldn't cope with the bikinis. Transferring the authority and acceptability of Bush House to television was never going to be easy, especially when it meant blending two mutually suspicious newsrooms. Not until 1990, with the Gulf War looming, were any practical steps taken. John Ramsland from Bush House was put in charge of words. John Exelby from TV Centre was told to manage its meagre resources. They had to be on the air in 3 months.
We had no money, we had no staff, we had no studios, we had no idea except bits of blank paper. And they said, we want you on the air with half an hour in the middle of March. And we said, okay, we'll go for it. We were those kind of people. And we found a few problems early on with his lack of knowledge of telly. I mean, he thought ENG was something to do with checking whether your heart was working all right. And I thought Burkina Faso had been signed by Wimbledon, but we found our way around these kind of problems.
Good evening, this is the BBC World Service News. I'm Ed Mitchell. The headlines tonight: there's turmoil in Yugoslavia's capital, Belgrade.
The first programme was put together with a handful of people and a hand-painted backdrop. It was always a struggle to manage on a minute budget.
We had 6 people on, day on and day off, on a 7-day fortnight. And it was very exciting those days. We had 1 half-hour programme which went out in the evening, and we all went home in the evening after that and switched the lights off.
We pioneered, some people regret it, video journalists, because we had to have single camera shoots. We had to have small teams turning out a lot of television. And the alternative was to not get World Service television news on the air, and that wasn't an acceptable alternative.
Salvation lay in Hong Kong. Scouring the world for money, a BBC team found a Hong Kong millionaire ready to buy the service for his new Star TV. But it was a bruising introduction to commercial realities. The team had to walk out of the negotiations to get the contract.
We decided to call their bluff and went down to the airport, leaving a message behind for them saying we walked out, and got on a plane back to Gatwick, as it was then. And by the time we got to Delhi, where the plane had to stop to refuel, they were repairing the runway, and we were stuck there for 24 hours. As we got off the plane, a Mr. Singh, who was the British Airways manager at Delhi Airport, came up and said, I have a very urgent call for you from Star TV. You must take it at once.
The Star sent the service round the world and round the clock. First into Asia. 2.7 billion people in more than 40 countries were now potential customers of the BBC's first 24-hour TV news channel. The Star deal ended with Rupert Murdoch, but new satellites kept the service in the Pacific Rim. Others carried it through Europe, the Middle East, Africa and South America. There were also tie-ups with CBC in Canada and other local broadcasters and cable systems. The next major change came in 1995. A new signature tune for a retitled BBC World introduced tailor-made programmes for a revamped European service.
Hello and welcome to The World Today.
By now, World TV had a serious audience and a serious impact.
Yasser Arafat and King Hussein tried to put years of suspicion behind them with a new agreement to cooperate.
I remember about a year in, there was a panorama programme that had been broadcast on BBC One earlier in the week, which we rebroadcast in India. It was an interview with John Major, and I was amazed to discover that John Major had a bigger audience in Bombay itself than he had in the whole of the UK.
This year's Indian election showed how well established the channel had become. almost the entire Indian establishment appeared live to start the process of building a new government.
Well, there will be a government. I would like to form that government.
Where there were problems, they were at heart the same. How much uncensored news would governments permit, especially in local languages? In China, as satellites spread, a new Mandarin service reached far beyond the sophisticated English speakers. Rather than antagonize the Chinese leadership, Rupert Murdoch dumped both when he bought Star TV. Political uncertainty over the king's health in Saudi Arabia ended the Arabic service and led to much recrimination about how old-style BBC values could coexist with commercial operators selling the product to autocratic regimes. Could the BBC do it?
The only way to get these services flourishing is to give one person authority to really drive their development. You can't do it through committee because you're up against the moguls who have the ability to deliver very quickly, very effectively, very expensively sometimes in their own right.
I'm always astonished by how successful World has been. Look at the size of the audience in India or in parts of Europe, and we're amazingly successful in Germany, which is a very competitive market. How can we be so successful there? So I actually think we've done very well so far, and I'm confident that we can go on expanding. The BBC's reorganising. We'll soon know how that works out. But personally, I think it would be inconceivable that a broadcaster the size of the BBC could afford not to be successful internationally with television.
The newest and best equipped presentation suite, specially designed for the Arabic service, stands empty, and there's still no service to the United States.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Broadcasting from London, 24 hours a day. This is BBC World.
But the main programme now has a Latin American outlet, complementing its foothold in every other continent. BBC World is turning into a testbed for a broader battle. Can quality television sell?
Okay, it'll be there.
Welcome back, I'm Tim Sebastian. Some 50 countries and organisations.
He's going to report you into the hot areas.
These are the pictures we were coming in now.
Bonjour, c'est Anita Coulson de BBC World.
I can't queue.
Morning, Tim. Good morning, everybody. London Peace Conference on Bosnia.
School starts early on Newsdesk, 7 a.m. and 3 hours before the red light goes on. The outside world's doing just fine. Only here is the temperature rising.
There are cast of thousands, inevitably.
I won't do it for now, we'll do it for 12. We can do it for 12.
Yeah. It's controlled panic, 2 hours of live television to fill, bulletins each hour, and a dozen people to fill them. There's the planned and the unexpected.
Right, explosion's gone off Karachi.
It's a big bomb next to the chief police office in Karachi. We'll go with it.
And 10 minutes to get it on air. They'll be watching this in Karachi less than an hour after the bomb went off.
There's been a large explosion in a busy street in the Pakistani city of Karachi.
An hour later, news desks in the gate ready to run with Bosnia.
Do we have the feed up yet?
It's classy stuff, half from the studio and half presented from the chilly streets of London.
Well, if they want to go to war, we're pulling our money and our men out.
Hello and welcome to our special election coverage live from Moscow. Over the last 2 years, Newsdesk and the other daily current affairs programmes have proved to be infinitely portable, picking up their beds and their autocue and heading off to present from the places that matter most.
I'm Donald McCormick in Washington, bringing you live coverage of Election 96.
Welcome to Delhi. Up to 590 million voters have passed judgment.
I'm Philip Hayton. With only 2 hours of voting left, I'll be reporting from Jerusalem.
Behind me, the Brandenburg Gate, for so long the concrete symbol of the Iron Curtain.
But it's not just the set pieces that get us up in the morning. We go to events and stay with them, like the funeral of Yitzhak Rabin with Israel mourning and the world looking on. And then, as always, there are the crashes.
A collision took place in midair over the village of Charki Dadri in Haryana province.
But World isn't just about doom. In and out of our studios, trek the glamorous.
I think most of the violence is on the news.
The really slimy.
It's hard to tell front from back, actually. Is she going backwards?
That's right,
the kinky. And the wannabes.
That'll be the world today.
16 hours a day with 90 hours a year of special live coverage, our world goes on turning. Somehow, somewhere, someone is being dressed, undressed and manhandled for the sake of our programs. They love it. Really.
I try my best for the BBC.